Hey, what's up, everyone? Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Thank you for joining me for the final video ever of 2019. Well, no, that's not quite true. We got a few more videos to pound out between now and the first, and we are going to be opening up $20 in nickels. It's not a whole lot, but hopefully it's just enough to discover something nice. However, this kind of coin roll hunt is going to be more of the background noise. I really wanted to take some time to talk about things upcoming for 2020. It's a completely new decade. There's a lot to look forward to in numismatics, coin collecting in general. We're going to talk about some of those things that hopefully are going to cap off not only 2019, but go ahead and jumpstart a completely new decade. Now, of course, we are going to put this aside, and we're going to start with this roll here that I had dropped on the floor probably about half an hour ago. But as we all know, in 2019, there were a lot of new things that were introduced into the coin market. Okay, a lot of it stemming from the activities and the legislature, pushed by the new mint director, David Ryder. Okay, the most important this year is the West Point quarters. Okay, these have been an absolute boon for coin collectors. Okay, people have made thousands of dollars. Let's be honest. There's a lot of you out there that have capitalized on this program, and it has been wildly successful, not only as a piece of treasure that you could find in your change or coin rolls. In addition, these things right here have springboarded into a bunch of different areas. Grading, for example, is another such thing in which companies like PCGS and NGC gained so many new members into the fold is when they were doing their promotion for $20 submissions for the West Point quarters, in addition to the fantastic bounties that they were doing. So expect to see something similar to that this coming year for 2020. Everything is tightly wrapped up, tight-lipped, I guess is a better way of putting it. Nobody knows exactly what this upcoming program is going to be, but it should be huge, and it will involve circulated coinage, much like I have here. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I have a really cool discovery video on a nickel that I will be launching for tomorrow morning to kick off your guys' weekend, okay? So let me go ahead and kind of maneuver the lighting here so it's not blinding you guys. So, we're just going to go ahead and blow through this, but primarily we're going to have a little bit of a talk and discussion about some of the things that went right for 2019. There's not a whole lot that did go wrong in terms of the market and collectability. I'd say the one glaring weak spot in a lot of this has been the commemorative coin program that the U.S. Continuously pumps out every year. I find that again and again and again, they're uninspiring, and I feel like they're reaching and putting, to the forefront maybe some programs and things of that nature that probably should not be on a U.S. coin. Okay, not saying that Boys, Girl Scouts, and Lions Club and anything like that is not important because they have some sort of historical significance. But keep in mind, as recently as about, 50 years ago, we were talking about trailblazers. We were talking about, prominent figureheads in America, inventors. We were also talking about, events that happened during the time, okay, in those commemorative coins. Commemoratives have really dropped off the map in terms of its collectability and a little bit of its importance. So I'm hoping that they're going to somehow address that 60/40. Now I'll be putting aside some coins that might have the opportunity to have some sort of variety. Of course, if there's a 2009 nickel, I am holding on to those as well. There's a 61D. Not sure if there's an RPM or anything, but we'll put that aside. So I would guess that maybe a fresh new commemorative coin program will be forthcoming. Hard to say what that will look like. Apparently, the president has signed a new commemorative coin program, I believe today. Maybe not a program, but one specific release. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to look like. So as far as some of the weaknesses, I'd like to see some sort of improvement. The commemorative coin program, of course, has been a snooze fest, among other things, today. And by the way, you're probably going to hear my dogs walk in the background. There's a nice black nickel there. It's not a black beauty. I could kind of tell. It's just corroded. But in any event, we're going to go ahead and move on from that. So just like that, we are through one roll. So we have established that the West Point quarters has been an absolute hit this year. And ideally, we want to see something like that again. And what it really boils down to is continuing to engage the collector base out there, especially trying to get new coin collectors in from everywhere. Okay, again, we're trying to build and broaden and deepen collector bases out there, and the only way you're going to do that is by introducing some pretty innovative things. Okay, so the West Point coin program is certainly a first step. What I'd like to see, and I'm not so sure that it's going to happen, but it may happen sometime in the future, is that they put out a 999 fine something. All right, now that could be a dime, a quarter, $50, as we know, aren't circulating quite too well right now just because of their sheer size and their insignificance as a larger denomination and a larger coin. Okay, people are more digital these days, so they prefer not to carry cash, especially coins that are as big and bulky as the $50. I would love to see some sort of silver composition piece. And if they can't do it in 999 fine, at the very least, they could revisit a 40% silver, maybe have it minted in San Francisco, or I don't know. It has to be neat. It has to be neat, and it's got to be something that as soon as you see it, you know there's something different about it. But yeah, I would love to. That would be kind of like a new innovative thing that I would personally do. Now, there's going to be the issue of cost. It's going to cost money. And yes, it will cost money. Okay, you're talking about silver, which right now, I can't say it's super affordable to mint any circulating silver coins. I'll be honest. Okay, it's just that's just the way it is. If it's going to cost $2 a coin to produce, like let's say in a quarter, okay, they probably won't ever do it. And that's understandable. But in 2019, we've also seen some pretty neat U.S. Mint store releases. We saw a host or a line of West Point Lincoln sets in proof, reverse proof, and also the Mint State versions, which were released. That was a nice 2005 P nickel there. Among some other things, okay, those were pretty significant in their own right, because they've never been issued before, okay, and that's why they were so popular. Here's the only rub against it, and I had the opportunity to check out the mintages for these respective proof, silver proof, and BU sets, is that they really didn't sell a whole lot more than they have in the previous years. Okay, now what's up with that? So, again, like I've stressed in another video, a previous video, probably 2-3 weeks ago, those coins, those West Point Lincolns, okay, are minted to demand. So as the U.S. Mint sells these proof sets or mid sets or whatever the case may be, okay, they're only going to make so many of those Lincoln cents to coincide with actual sales of those sets. All right, so you might see after they've decided to stop selling the 2019 products, you will probably see some of these being key dates, those Lincoln pennies. All right. So again, I've talked about it before, but I'm also going to stress that those are going to be a tremendous pickup if you're able to find them. All right, because 2020 is coming, okay, real soon in a few days. And what's the buyer mentality? What's the consumer mentality out there? Okay, people are going to forget the stuff that's old. All right, and then eventually it's just going to just kind of fall into obscurity, much like a lot of the other mint products go. Now, the reason why that this will be a hot selling coin for years to come, especially in high grades, is that they are Lincoln cents. Okay, they are going to be continuously a collector's favorite. Okay, and then when you have the first year West Point coin Lincoln cent that's being sold and produced, okay, you better believe that it's going to be something special. And then, in 10, 20 years from now, they're going to be absolutely scarce, even more so than the West Point quarters, which even to this day are still being found in change and out in circulation. The West Point quarters, again, are some of those coins that I would certainly hold on to, because right now, as you guys saw, I had this, War in the Pacific, West Point quarter. How much does this sell for today? Like $5, something like that. I mean, I knew the price would drop as more supply enters the marketplace. And then, it's just going to be a matter of like, what's the buyer's mentality when it comes to these coins? Are they buying many of them and assembling rolls? I don't know. We certainly know that there's a select group of people that are actually sending these out for grading. All right, and that's going to slow down here pretty soon as people gear up for the coinage of 2020. So I'm going to say that these rolls of nickels so far have been unspectacular. We haven't found one coin pre-1960, but that's just the way it goes sometimes with these roll hunts. But yeah, the rolls, again, it's not the most important thing to this video, but I wanted to have some FaceTime with you guys before the weekend and to discuss some of the important things that's going to be happening here this next year. Now, another thing I'm going to talk about, because the reason why that I feel like 2020 is going to be a landmark year is that every time that U.S. coinage converts to a new decade, you have some kind of like this hidden built-up ramp-up in sales in certain things. Okay, let's talk about 2010, for example. When we went from 2009 to 2010, we have seen a jump up in the demand for rolls of coins during that time. Okay, at that time. Okay, not right now. I think people can care less about 2010's rolls of coins. Okay, believe it or not, there's not a whole lot of them out there to be had on the secondary market. So that's something to keep in mind. But at the time, it was a different thing. They're like, oh, we're leaving the single digits of the 2000s and we're going into the 2000 and teens. That's kind of a significant event in coins. Okay, just the mere fact that there's going to be a teens digit at the end of 2000 right there means a lot. Okay, man, I used to remember when the new state quarters came out in 99, and then it went to 2000, and then 2000s were a significant date in history, the millennium. All right, so expect to see that same thing in 2020. So here's a transition point, why I even brought that up. Speaking of which, there's a 2010 right there. So here's the transition point and why that's important. Okay, so like I do every single year, I document and I highlight the first sales of brand new penny boxes, nickel boxes of that respective year. Okay, so usually the first release of coinage for the year happens around the end of February into the beginning parts of March. Okay, and that's going to be with the Lincoln cents. Okay, so this year, again, it's going to be the same deal. All right, somewhere around the end of February into the beginning parts of March. Okay, we are going to see brand new virgin boxes of 2020 Lincoln Shield cents that are going to be entering the marketplace. Okay, usually the first box that comes up for sale on eBay sells for between $300 and $500. All right, that seems like a ridiculous amount of money, but you know what? It doesn't change year in, year out. Okay, that price stays the same. Okay, I would say within the last 10, 15 years, you know, with eBay being a thing out there, as prominent of a marketplace as it is, people have been selling their brand new boxes of $25 count Lincoln cents on eBay for a great deal more than face. Now, it's a great opportunity to actually go and make money from this endeavor. If you're one of the first people that actually has the opportunity to pick up brand new bank boxes from the bank of 2020s, a new decade, all on its own, okay, we might even hit a record. We might see these boxes hit possibly $600, $700, $800 on the secondary market for the first box. All right, that's the significance. Now, people are going to say, well, why don't they just wait till like the summertime when someone can just go to the bank and buy these, you know, because everybody will have them, or maybe they want to, you know, buy another box online, like in the middle of June, for example, for, you know, 40, 50 bucks. Okay, people actually do that. People on the East Coast will buy West Coast coins and vice versa because you could only find one mint mark type depending on where you live at. And the real question is simple, okay, and that's going to be grading. And also attribution of new varieties, whichever comes first. So there are people out there that actually buy a lot of these rolls or boxes of nickels, mind you, in the hopes of finding and discovering new double dies that they can attribute their own name to. Okay, and then guys like John Wexler or Dr. James Wiles will, you know, take a look at your coin and make sure that it is indeed a double die, and that your name will be etched in history as the discoverer of such a coin. Okay, so that's about, you know, that's more bragging rights than anything else. Okay, the second part is grading. All right, people want to be the first ones to grade these coins and grade them high. The populations will be low at the beginning, and the really cool thing is the coins, in theory, in hindsight, will sell for a great deal more money right off the bat than they normally would later on in the year when so many of them have hit the marketplace and, importantly, have hit the PCGS and NGC headquarters. So, you know, it wouldn't make any sense to wait until after the summer to submit new coins for grading because they're going to be worth a lot less. Okay, you got to strike while the iron is hot. And that's why people pay an absorbent amount of money for brand new bank boxes of the newest dated coins as soon as they come out. And that is the theory about why that these coins sell for a tremendous amount of money. And you guys definitely need to keep your eyes peeled, especially if you live close to you know, a Fed Reserve Bank, you know, that will distribute to all of the closest banks. I always tell people that, you know, that's going to be your best bet And there you go. Okay. And I always talk about stuff that people can make money on. If I can't do it myself, because I make money off the videos anyways, I mean, not $300, like what you guys have, but just giving people the opportunity who otherwise, don't have the chance to make kind of that quick, easy buck. And $300 is a lot of money. Okay. And that's why I was all over the West Point Mint release of quarters, is that it was a huge opportunity for people that had the ability to pick these up. And that was extremely, extremely important. So we got our first 1960. Unfortunately, it's a roll ender, and it's got some, machine damage. So that thing is toast. But anyways, there you go. So brand new coinage. Keep an eye out for it. You're going to expect to see much higher dollar values for full brand new sealed boxes straight from the bank. And believe you me, it's going to be hot, especially with that new decade coming up in 2020s. It's going to be spectacular. Now, get this, a 1950. What are the odds that there's going to be a Denver mint mark behind here? Because that would make this, in this condition, probably about a $5 coin. Okay, wish me luck. Ooh, I don't know. I think I'm going to put this right here. And I'm going to save it to the end of the video. I'm going to keep you guys waiting. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and do more chit-chat about some other things that we can expect for this year. So we've covered the whatever potential value is going to hit for brand new bank boxes. Should be exciting. I feel like they are going to continue a West Point program of some sort for circulating coinage. I think it's going to affect a completely different denomination of coin that they are going to release into circulation. Again, it's all speculative. I don't know anything about it. Should be a lot of fun. So let's stay tuned for that. I'm sure we will hear something really quick. I think we'll probably hear something within the next 30 to 45 days if I had to pin a guess on it. But in any event, there's probably going to be about 10 of us YouTube guys who are going to update you on all the stuff that's relevant concerning any circulation rarity coins. It should be a lot of fun. We already know that David Ryder has expressed that this will be the case. It's just going to be a matter of what kind of program they are going to release. And, much appreciative. Lots of kudos to the U.S. Mint and all of its executives for making 2019 a very memorable date in coinage. It should be a lot of fun. All right. So another thing I wanted to talk about is that for 2020, we have what? I believe this is the final year of the America the Beautiful program. Now, some of you probably already know this, but they are in kind of discussions, I guess, as to what the successor will be after this program is gone. Some have speculated that there will be something else that will be continuing. I've heard innovators in female innovators of some sort. I don't know if that's the case. But the one that's more likely that I've heard a lot more about is that they are going to do a static design. So we're going to go back to pre-1999, and the U.S. Mint is probably going to do a general static design. They're going to revisit bringing the, the eagle-backed design, in a different, more modern, up-to-date engraving, artistry like we've never seen before, which would be welcome. I think based off of the misses that they have endured with the shield scent design, I think they need to knock it out of the park and do something that's fantastic. What will happen? I'm not sure. In addition, the reason why that they're doing this for the most part is they want to go and kind of build into the upcoming release of the, what is it, the 2026. It's another anniversary, our nation's anniversary, kind of like the 1776 to 1976, but just add 50 years to it. So what does that make? It's not bicentennial. It's going to be, it's not tercentennial because that's 300 years. Whatever the 200 years, whatchamacallit, verbiage is going to be for 200 years. Or is it 250? Sorry, 250. So, bicentennial and a half. I don't know. So maybe you guys can tell me what that is. But they are ramping up for a one-shot design for the 2026 quarter, from what I've heard, and that's going to be in the works. Okay, and that's why it would make any sense to do another 10-year, kind of like state quarter or national park quarter release, is because right down the middle they're going to have to take a break and actually do this thing for the upcoming anniversary, or my anniversary, or whatever. I don't know. Jeez, crazy that these nickel rolls haven't really brought in a whole lot of anything. I was figuring, hey, let's find a 2009 in here. Those things are still worth about 75 cents to $1. Believe it or not, that one is not anything there. But yeah, I want to hear what you guys think. We are down to our last roll, so this video is going to conclude here momentarily. But I wanted to thank you guys for joining in on this video, even though the coin roll hunt has been less than desirable. We got no silver, we got no oldies. Well, we do have that 1950. We're going to take a look at the back and see if we have a Denver minted coin. That would be spectacular. The odds, again, are very slim. And I think that's what makes it really exciting. But again, just to recap, we have some pretty significant things happening for 2020, in addition to a host of other new releases that will be coming out by the U.S. Mint. I didn't want to take too much time to talk about the World Mint stuff. Of course, these World Mints will have their own programs going on. The Pride of Two Nations coin release has been a rousing success, and I expect to see more collaborations with other worldwide mints. Personally, I would like to see a Tuvalu or something like that collaboration, or Germany or something. It should be pretty neat, pretty interesting. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And it's only going to happen because the new mint director is going to make it happen. All right, so without further ado, okay, do we have a Denver minted 1950? And we don't. Actually, let's see. Ah, man! It has been about 13, 14 years since I found a Denver minted 1950 Jefferson nickel. Oh well, what can you do? At least, there was a little bit of buildup at the end through all of the talking and the regurgitation of information. It's a lot to, take in. But keep in mind, we have a lot of new stuff coming out for 2020. I want to thank everyone for joining me on, this nice little Friday evening coin roll hunt session. It was more of a kind of like a talk and informational type thing as we head into 2020. Keep an eye out for all of this great stuff coming out. So I want to thank you, Coinaholics, for joining in for all of the great stuff. As always, we are discovering together, and like, share, subscribe. Don't forget that. All right. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.